A few weeks ago, a box arrived, and when I opened it up, it contained a Star Trek Bluetooth communicator. Now, I couldn't quite remember making this order, so when I looked back through my emails, it turns out I had, and it had been a pre-order quite a few months earlier, and I think it was one of those late-night purchases. Now, when I was a lot younger, as a child in the late 1970s and early 80s, Star Trek was probably my favourite television programme. Not difficult at the time because there wasn't an awful lot to watch. In the UK there were 3 channels, and on BBC One, which was one of the main ones, it actually shut down for a while at lunchtime. Then of course there wasn't much to watch the rest of the day, but you'd probably be at school, and after you got home from school, a bit of children's TV, and then it went boring again until 7:20 on a Monday evening, shining out like a bright star in the night sky, there was Star Trek. Now, while the original series of Star Trek might seem like ancient history nowadays, just think when I was watching it in, say, 1981, it was about as old as the first season of the reboot of Battlestar Galactica is if you watch it today. Just shows you how quickly time passes. Now, the things that you experience when you're in your formative years, say 9, 10, 11, those kind of things, those really seem to stick with you throughout the rest of your life and shape the way you think about things. One of the things I thought about back then was how much I wanted a communicator off Star Trek. And of course, since then we've had mobile phones, but still there's that need somewhere in the back of my brain that I have to have a communicator. That's why I ended up ordering this. Over the years, there's been plenty of different models come out at all kinds of different price ranges, including very expensive official replicas, and this, it falls somewhere in the middle. It's about £100 odd, so it's not cheap, but it's very nicely put together. Let me show you. We've got a little pouch to put the thing in. This is a very good box for it. As you can see, we've got the Star Trek emblem on there. Lots of sort of nice details. The instruction manual as well. It keeps in character throughout. It's as though you're a member of Starfleet and they're issuing you with your new communicator, that kind of thing. But it's also a very good instruction booklet as well. Inside this nice box, we've got 3 items. Well, 4 if you include the USB lead. I'll just put it all together. This makes a nice little stand. As you can see, we've got an LED at the bottom there, which changes the colour depending on what's going on. The USB lead, of course, you plug into a charger, and then the communicator, well, that charges by going on the stand. And look at that, it's magnetic on the back as well, so that's a nice little feature. Just put it on there, and it holds it nicely in place. Okay, so when it's charged, what can you do with it? Well, you can flip it open like this. If you want to pretend you're Kirk, or if you want to look after it a little bit more, just hold down on the hinge here and open it like that. Now, it's got 2 buttons, and the right-hand one is a 4-way directional stick, so pressing those in various ways enable it to play back a number of sound effects.
Enterprise Bridge, Lieutenant Uhura.
Enterprise, Spock here. McCoy here. Yes, Captain. Scotty here, Captain.
Now, I don't want to spoil the surprise by going through every sound effect. In fact, it would make the video a little bit dull as well. But you can see them all on screen here, all the different things it can say and who's saying them. And to get it to say those, tap the buttons in various different combinations of directions and holds and double taps and things. The idea is effectively you can hold a conversation with your communicator. But of course, that's just using it as a toy. The real purpose of this thing is to add it as a Bluetooth device to your mobile phone and use it to talk to real people. And just as you'd want, opening up your communicator answers a call, and closing it,
Communication terminated.
Disconnects it. With most Bluetooth phones, your communicator will play the communicator hailing beep automatically when an incoming call is received. However, if you connect it up to an iPhone, you'll need to install that sound as a custom ringtone on the iPhone itself. Now, of course, it's not just about receiving calls. You can make calls with the communicator, but you'll have to restrict yourself to using voice commands.
Phone home.
Because, of course, it doesn't have a keypad.
Calling home.
So your modern captain about town can carry his communicator around in its protective case. He can take it out to make or receive calls, and then when he gets back to the office, he can pop it on its charger.
If you leave the communicator on its charging stand with the grill open, if someone calls it, to answer the call, you press that right-hand button. You can have a hands-free conversation, and then to terminate the call at the end, just press that button again.
Now, I'm sure there are quite a few collectors out there that aren't interested in any of the Bluetooth functionality. They just like the look of this because of the excellent attention to detail. This is a really good replica of the prop used in the original series. As you can see, everything works the way it did in the show, from the display at the top to the crystals flashing below. The construction is just perfect. All the materials are right. It's an excellent looking replica prop, and it'd look really nice on that magnetic stand in a display cabinet. But for those people out there that value functionality as well as form, it's good to know that the little flashing lights on there aren't just doing it randomly. They do actually indicate something. And the communicator itself can be used as a Bluetooth speaker. Admittedly not a particularly loud one, but it does enable you to adjust the volume up and down, play, pause and skip forward and back through tracks on your device itself without actually having to get the device out of a pocket, because of course you've already got the communicator out of the other pocket. And when you're playing music, you'll notice the little red crystal on there flashes along to the beat. So there you go, that's a Star Trek Bluetooth communicator, a great prop replica that actually does something as well. I'll put a few links in the video description to places where you can buy these from, but that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.
It's one of those teletransporter things out of Star Wars that Dr. Spock uses.
Enterprise. Spock here.
Oh, hi. Can I order a pizza, please?
Please repeat, Captain. I didn't receive that.
Okay then. Beat me up, Spocky.
Affirmative, Captain. Enterprise out.